A lot of times parents do affect their child's confidence, and when children grow up in an environment where their confidence have been crushed, their self-esteem has been crushed, it really affects them in their day-to-day life. And kids tend to take their mom's words more seriously and take it to heart more than their dad's words. So as single moms in this channel, this Rich Mom Mindset channel, we want to make sure that we don't crush our children's confidence. We want to be careful of the things that we're saying to our kids, and we also want to make sure that we are not contributing to lack of self-esteem in our children's life. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the things that will affect your child's confidence, things that we shouldn't do in order for us not to crush our child's confidence. I'm looking down at my phone so I don't forget what I'm about to say in this video. The first one is, never let people disrespect your child in front of you and in front of your child. Some people don't even know what disrespect means, but you should never ever participate in elderly people disrespecting your child, or even your in-laws disrespecting your child. Never participate in that, because that could really crush a child's confidence, and it could really affect them in the long run. The next one is to don't join people laughing at your child. If your child has done something wrong and other people are laughing, don't participate in laughing with them. Even if it's your in-law, uncle, auntie, cousin, siblings, let them all know that it's not funny. Stand up for your child. Learn to stand up for your child, because they are depending on you. They are dependent on you until they become an adult, and they want to know that you've got their back no matter what. So this is an opportunity to stand up for your child and not actually participate in those who are mocking your child. Whenever your child's teacher or anyone in authority is saying words like, oh, your child will never be great, or your child is silly, your child is dumb, don't agree with what they say. Never agree with what they say. Let your child know that my mom thinks highly of me. My mom doesn't see me that way. My mom sees me different. If you know someone is crushing your child's confidence, someone in authority is crushing your child's confidence, when you get home, build that confidence back up with good, encouraging words. It could even be with prayers. You know, there's nothing wrong with encouraging them with prayers as well. Another one is, don't make fun of your child's facial features or their figure. If your child is fat, if your child doesn't have an arm, if your child's eyes is looking somehow, don't make fun of it. Like for me, my eyebrows got like it's not straight, it's got like an arc at the very top, right? And so my son's eyebrows as well has got an arc. One day me and my son went to the GP, and it was a black man, and he was testing my son for something, and he was asking me, why does my son have an arc on his brows? And he was laughing at it in front of me, and I was like, because I've got an arc on my brows, so it just makes sense for him to have some of my features. And after I said that, he just shut up. Don't ever give room for people to be laughing with you or at you about your kids' facial features. And don't make fun of your kids' facial features, because that child is coming out of you. So if you are making fun of that child, you're indirectly making fun of yourself. The next one is to stop shouting. This is something that every single mother, or even mothers in general, I don't understand this concept of shouting all the time. Don't get me wrong, I shout maybe once in a while. Maybe he's upstairs and I'm downstairs, I could shout to call his name. Maybe he's far away, I could shout to call his name. But some mothers, you shout when the kitchen is not clean, you shout when your child's jumper is dirty, you shout when your child is like, stop shouting. It's stress. It's not good for your lungs, it's not good for your neck. Stop shouting. Learn to communicate effectively without shouting. And I think that's something I'm going to do in my next video, because this shouting all the time, it just doesn't work. It makes a child get scared. A child is not confident to know, okay, should I say the truth or should I say a lie? If I say the truth, is she gonna shout? If she's gonna shout, maybe I should just say a lie. Like it's so annoying. Just stop shouting all the time. Reduce it. Stop it. It's not good for your health. The next one would be appreciate them all the time. Learn to use the word thank you to your kids. If your kids have done something, like they've helped you clean this, thank you. Some parents have it so difficult to say thank you, to say I'm sorry. Just because you're a parent, that doesn't exclude you from using the words thank you and I'm sorry. You have to get into the habit of using that so that your kids can use that back to you when it's appropriate. So when they've done something, thank you, sorry, excuse me. Learn to use these words with them. The next one would be to never talk bad about your child to your friends, even behind their back. I see this sometimes where mothers in a community, even in work, you're always talking about, oh, my child doesn't do this, my child said this, my child is stubborn. Your friends can't solve the problem. So stop it. Children are a blessing. Go to people who can solve the problem. Go to people who can give you advice about the problem. Don't nag about the problem to people who can't fix the problem. Just don't do it. Okay, because if you keep doing that in the long run, you won't learn to appreciate your child for the little things that they do. All right? Growing up, my mom used to nag at me about, oh, you don't clean, you don't do the laundry, you don't do this, you don't do that. All she would focus on was the things that I couldn't do. She would never focus on the things that I was doing or the things that I could do. And it got to a point as a kid, I said, you know what, I don't even care anymore. And that's how children are. If you continue to keep nagging about the things they can't do, they will grow up to not even care, and they will not even do anything at all, because the little things that they do, you don't learn to appreciate it. You're focused too much on the negative instead of you to focus on the positive and find a way to work on the negative. The next one would be, don't ever put your child in a position to be disrespected. So I'll give you an example of myself. Growing up, going to church regularly, my mom had forced me to join the choir, and I had made it clear to my mom that I can't sing and I don't want to embarrass myself. And because I didn't have the confidence, as a kid, to stand on my no, my mom eventually forced me and convinced me to join the choir. Whenever I joined the choir, people knew in the choir that Dami can't sing. And so what would happen sometimes is that the person who was in charge of the microphone, sometimes, they could tell that, like they would make it obvious that she's not on the right note, or what is she singing, there was just so much room for embarrassment and disrespect, to the point that it was so obvious to the congregation. And things like that can really affect a child's confidence. Don't ever put your kid in a position to be disrespected, in a position to be embarrassed. If you're asking your child to participate in something and they tell you no, it's because that child knows they're not capable of doing it. So leave them alone and don't force them to do it. The next one would be always compliment your child and stop complaining. It's very important for you to compliment your child. Growing up, I've always felt like I was ugly. I've always felt like I wasn't beautiful enough, because nobody in my family ever told me that I was beautiful. It was only people outside my family that would compliment me. Until this day, this is how it is. I still don't get compliments from my family. I don't get compliments from my parents. They would rather compliment people that they don't know than to compliment people that they do know. Okay? It's such a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with telling your child that you're beautiful. We're telling your child you look good today. We're telling your child that your haircut is nice. We're telling your child that, wow, you got nice skin. Get used to complimenting your kids. Get used to it and stop nagging. The next one would be, don't compare your child to other children. This thing is normally common in Black culture. I can't speak for other cultures because I'm Black. That's what I can talk about. Stop comparing your kids to other kids. If you don't live with that child, then you don't know what that child is doing in the other person's house. Focus on your kids and stop saying, oh, well, in such and such house, their kids do blah, 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 blah. Okay? Maybe their kids are doing better than yours, but that's a reflection of your work on your kids. So stop comparing. We're not here to run a race against somebody else. Your kid is not in a race with somebody else's kid. Your kid should be in a race with who they used to be. And you as a parent, is your own job to make sure that we guide them in the right path and we give them words of wisdom in order to handle life and know what to do in certain situations. Okay, so that is it for this video. I have done a video on words and sentences that we shouldn't use near our kids. I will leave the link to that on the screen of this video. Please click on that, hit the subscribe button, like it. If you have any contribution to what I've just said, make sure you put it in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in another video. Stay blessed and stay beautiful. Bye.